How's it going, everybody? It's Bartosz Kowalewski here, and today we're taking a look at a brand new Discmania release, the P1. I don't have much experience with the P1 because I didn't throw the old mold, so this is a new experience for me. In the hand, the P1 really feels similar to a P2, maybe slightly shallower. I personally putt with Rainmakers, and the Rainmakers feel a little bit more blocky, or the shoulder feels a little taller on the Rainmaker, versus the P1 that has more of a rounded feel to the edge. I'm excited to go throw it in the field, compare it against the Rainmaker, the P2, and the Logic, since those are the other beadless putt and approach options that Discmania offers. So without further ado, let's check it out. Starting off, we're going to throw these discs with a fan grip. Nice and easy, just trying to get a good feel for them. Throwing them pretty flat, maybe with a little bit of Anhyzer. You can see the Logic just kind of holding that angle through the entirety of its flight. The Flex 2 Rainmaker is going to fade out a little bit more than that. I released the Flex 2 P1 a little early, but you can still see a pretty straight flight with a slight fade at the end, but not as much fade as the P2. Next, we're gonna move on to my normal power grip here. The Logic is gonna fly straight, and it's gonna finish to the right, but the Rainmaker is also gonna fly pretty straight, and it's actually gonna land pretty flat here, just straight throughout the entirety of its flight. The P1, on the other hand, has a similar flight path at the beginning, and it just has a slight finish to the left at the end. P2 able to resist a little bit more torque, but you see it still has a harder finish to the left than the P1. Next, we're going to throw these discs up high on a little bit of Anhyzer, and you can see the soft Logic just keeps moving to the right with a nice flat landing, a really nice disc for that shot. And the P2, you're gonna have to put a lot of turn or a lot of power on that disc if you want it to turn over the entire way. You can see it fades out late in the flight there. Our Flex 2 Rainmaker here, it doesn't have as much left to right movement as the Logic, but still turns over nicely and lands flat. And the P1 is going to sit kind of right in the middle. It's going to turn for most of its flight, and at that last fourth of the flight, it goes straight and sits flat. And then last, we're going to throw them a little bit harder. You can see the Logic again just wanting to turn over and move to the right, even at this distance at 295 feet. The Rainmaker is going to stay relatively straighter than the Logic. It has a nice slight turn the entire way. And the Flex 2 P1, again, is going to be straight for most of its flight, but almost the opposite of the Rainmaker, where it just fades to the left. Going to some on the course shots, you can see this P1 is going to be really nice for approaches 300 feet and in. It holds really any angle that you put it on. If you're used to throwing the P2 and sometimes it doesn't turn enough, or you'd like something a little bit less stable, the P1 is definitely going to fill that slot. It's very angle sensitive, and you're able to throw it very comfortably on, any angle. Even at a longer distance, you can see it just holds nicely and it flattens the entire time. And then here I'm throwing it even a little further, I think like 320, 330 feet. You see that it still can hold that hyzer slowly coming down to the ground. And on the putting green, it doesn't require much spin, but the putter will stay relatively straight. The P1 for me flies actually fairly similar to my Flex 2 Rainmakers. It's definitely not as stable as a P2, and it's not as flippy as a Logic. It's a really nice feeling putter, and I see a lot of people who putt with P2s that maybe want something straighter, but didn't quite like the feel of the Rainmaker in the hand, might want to give this P1 a try. It's a really nice, straight flying putter that has a lot of glide. So it's definitely going to be a great approach disc for all skill levels. Don't forget to subscribe to Discmania Discs and let me know what you guys want to see next. I'll see you guys on the next one.